something had to be done, something that reflected seriousness. But on the other hand, these widows were not in any way, and that may have to do also with the different culture they're coming from, resentful.
Although in Indonesian culture, where the community is considered to be more important than the individual, representatives of the community felt that the money needed to be shared among the community members, and that the widows had only been the voice of all those who had suffered similar atrocities.
Maar
Jij?
Ik wil toch reageren dat ik, misschien kan je dat even, sorry dat ik geen Engels goed kan spreken. Nou, wat ik eigenlijk wil zeggen, misschien kan je dat voor mij vertalen. Ik vind dat de Nederlandse regering ook debet aan heeft. Want ze wisten het wel, dat deze dingen kan gebeuren.
Welke dingen?
Nou ja, dat het op een gegeven moment, dat het problemen geeft met het geld. Want kijk, minister van Buitenlandse Zaken, met Koenders, die heeft op een gegeven moment €850.000. Nou, als je dat anders hebt dat besteed, dan gaat het misschien anders gelopen. Maar aan de andere kant denk ik ook, het is een gemeenschap. Kijk, als een familie hier overlijdt en hoe noem je dat, de goederen die moeten verdeeld, zelf daar en de familie heb je al ruzie daarover.
Okay.
Actually, just picking up on this as a scholar of Japan and Indonesia myself, but I just wanted to mention that the phrasing in the presentation, I felt a little bit awkward precisely on this point, where I think you were quoting another scholar, that you said, in Indonesian culture where the community is considered to be more important than the individual. It sounds to me quite, as a scholar of Southeast Asia, it strikes me as quite stereotypical, not and kind of culturalist, and some kind of making an assumption about how Indonesians are in general. Where what Jeffrey I think is highlighting here is that this is to a large degree kind of a universal problem, that money, in these kinds of situations, this might, there might be some aspect of something like Indonesian culture here, but I found the wording a little bit too generalizing. I don't know if you might want to comment on that. I mean, it wasn't you, I guess it was the scholar you're quoting, but that struck me as a bit awkward.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to come at the defense of India, because if there's one person who, it may be phrased a bit awkwardly, but if there's one person who knows that anywhere in the world money creates trouble, then it's Nicole. So I just wanted to see.
Okay, I see another hand.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to comment on that comment. It is pretty racist to collectivify a whole people. So you coming in defense for quite a racist way of looking at a whole people. I think it's also very problematic. It's not about. It is really about white people again collectivifying Indonesians as all being the same, while individualism here is very important. Why can we not look at the same way to Indonesians as individuals? Why is it used as an argument again after so many centuries of collectivifying Indonesians?
I agree with you, but I did say it's formulated awkwardly.
No, it's not awkwardly, it's formulated racist.
Well, I would call it racist if I'm convinced of the intent.
No, but it's not about intentions. Racism is about impact, not about the intentions that the
Well, we
racist
can have a
makes.
long discussion about this, but I cherish having good faith in the intention of people. So you can have a discussion with someone about, maybe you could phrase it differently, and we close off the discussion if you call someone a racist.
But
so I don't believe in that.
after 525 years of colonialism, oppression, racism, apartheid, genocide, you cannot expect non-white people to see the positive side of the intentions of white institutes. Sorry.
That's not
Okay,
what
but
I'm
maybe
saying.
that's a good. I mean, your comments I think are very a good input in the question that Marjolein put on the table. So what? But that I think is a bit broad for our discussion. Actually, is what do you? How do you repair colonial damage? I don't know whether you want to say something very briefly about that. Would that be possible, or is there anyone else who would like to sort of very briefly say something about that?
I think the Dutch state should recognize and not, as they say, that they regret. No, they sincerely apologize for all atrocities. It could be individual atrocities, but also colonialism, slavery in general. And that they should, whenever there's racism or every other oppression, there's this, you have a couple of stages. One is recognition, two is preventing recidive.
Yeah,
And there is this whole thing of reparations and how reparations should be. That is the victims to decide. But there is also a big part in the Netherlands that the Dutch should do on reparations. So I think the Dutch state should also put a lot of money in education about colonialism and about crimes and about racism.
Okay, well, I think that's a very useful comment.